Um, I think it's something to do with competition. They are actually being, competitive. I'm not justifying it because if you are operating, in a country, you have to go by the laws and regulations of that country. But also, on the other hand, it actually tells you the weaknesses in our regulatory system. Okay, as much as possible, the regulatory agencies should be able to shield Dangote, from these problems. But the fact is, the IOCs are actually
when you say shield, can you expand?
Yeah, shield. What I
Yes.
mean by shield is that, you see, there are laws here. There are laws. There are laws regarding, production. There are laws regarding export. And as a matter of fact, you see, based on the OPEC quota, which is 1.5, that 1.5 does not even include your local, your domestic consumption. Yes, it is outside your domestic consumption. If you can produce, 2 million per day, okay, you can actually take that 500,000 for your domestic consumption, and then the 1.5 will be your OPEC requirement, OPEC quota, okay. So even in that light, the regulatory agencies can actually ensure that Dangote is free from this shackles of competition from the IOCs. The fact is that it's a very weak regulatory system in the industry, such that the IOCs can now play at their own game. But to be honest, also the fact is that Dangote cannot fully rely on supply from the NNPC. He cannot rely on supply from the NNPC. And this is actually a part of the problem. Because if you look at it, you see, NNPC, Dangote is saying NNPC is not actually giving him the supply that he requires. And he's now moving abroad, to establish new frontiers of supply. And you can't blame him on that. The fact is, for the NNPC, you would expect that at least, they should be able to guarantee the 445, even the 650,000 barrels, possibly. Because the NNPC was operating the DSDP, isn't it? The direct sales, direct purchase agreement. Now, that direct sales, under that DSDP, the NNPC was using 445,000 barrels to swap for the 64 million estimated, okay, 64 million liters estimated PMS, requirement, okay, domestic consumption requirement. Now, last year, the DSDP was stopped, isn't it? The DSDP was stopped last year.
Sale.
It was stopped, okay. So where is the 445 that the NNPC was using to swap for 64 million liters of PMS? Where is the 445?
So